I'm Drew.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Laura.
And this is our pop culture movie podcast that you should all know by now because it's been out for 4 years. But I'm not scolding anybody. I love you all. Keep listening. Hi. Okay. So, yeah, I threw myself so off track here by yelling at people. Hi, and how are you both doing, friends?
Good.
Doing good.
Are you ready for tonight? Are you ready to get into this?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm
not afraid of this one.
Oh, good. Y'all, we are watching, we're watching the original classic 1984 Ghostbusters tonight to have this come out right around the time of the new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. So we're super stoked about this. Now, Laura, you have seen this, but it's been a while?
So I don't think that I've ever sat down and watched it start to finish.
Awesome.
There are very few things that I actually think I know about it or remember about it. And it's just been, maybe I've caught a few things here and there on TV. I told my parents that I was watching this today and they're like, yeah, that was not one that we ever really watched, when you were growing up. So it just was never one that was playing. So I think that's probably why. But yeah, so I will be my first time watching it through.
I love that. And
Nice.
Brian, you have not seen this either, right?
I have seen it.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
And you are fairly confident in your memory of this?
As confident as I am with my memory of most films, which is not very much.
Right.
I think that we're 80 movies in, far more episodes. Last one was our 80th, but
wow.
We could probably start rewatching the ones from the beginning because I'll have forgotten those. I am familiar with the film. I've seen it actually probably a couple times.
Oh, okay.
But I don't. I'm sure I'm gonna forget stuff.
Okay, cool, sweet. So before we jump into the movie, though, I just want to ask you both a question. I want to know if you can tell us briefly if you have ever had a paranormal experience.
I think that I've probably had multiple, but I'll pick one that I don't think we've talked about. Maybe we did talk about this one on here. I don't know. I can't remember. But in high school, there was and you might even know about this, Drew. There was this tower called the Flamingo. Do you know about the Flamingo?
No.
Okay. It's like a water tower or something, and there's a legend around it that supposedly somebody jumped off of it and ended up dying, but then there's this really creepy face spray painted on it, and when you go to it, if you look at it, you'll see the person jumping. There's this whole thing. Wow. So we used to go to it a lot in high school, and you'd just be out driving around with your friends being stupid. And one time it's a very it's a dirt road, there's no lights, super creepy, and one time this huge cloud ghosty looking thing kind of flew into our car. It looked like it flew into our car and then flew past our car, and that was terrifying. That was enough for us to be okay, I don't think we're ever going to come back here again.
Oh my god.
A ghost cloud flew into your car?
Not but so it was coming at us. We were driving down the road and it looked like it came right into the car headlights. And then we kept driving a little more and then it looked like it flew past the headlights. Yeah, it was very, very strange. And then there was also another place that we would go to. It was an old abandoned house in the same town. And this was so stupid thinking back on this. We would go look around in this house. I'm shocked we didn't get arrested or no one called the cops on us. But I used to bring a video camera in there. We thought we were Blair Witch pretty much.
Yeah.
And we went back and watched the tape after, and there, the orbs that they say are spirits. There were so many of them floating around in the video that we didn't see when we were in the room, or in the house, and then we only saw it when we were watching the video back. So,
Oh,
those are
God.
that was
that's
my.
fun.
We used to like go hunting for stuff when
Yeah,
I was younger.
that's wild.
Yeah.
It could have been aliens. The
It could have been aliens.
gaseous cloud one could have been an alien.
Oh, it could have
Ugh.
been.
I just don't like any of it, but good.
I might have told mine on here before too, but I was working at a restaurant, and we had this huge basement where we used it for like dry storage. So there was like a little room in the back where we would get changed, and then there were all of these like shelves, and
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why are you getting changed in the restaurant in a back room in a basement?
Oh, we all just like we would like
That's
bring
what the owner asked for.
Yeah, they asked us to tape it, and then they had a camera back there. They said that this was at every restaurant.
There was a big picture on the wall, and the eyes were removed, and there were occasionally like eyes watching.
There was this really big mirror that it looked like someone was behind it, but
there's a shower. There was a shower. None of us used
Really?
it. Yeah, we had a shower down there.
We were so panicked about that. Wait, what? Really?
Yeah. But no, it was just like a space where we could keep our like clean clothes. So we'd show
like
up
if
to
you
the
were going
restaurant
out
in our clean
after-
clothes. Yeah. And we'd change into like we had like shitty like chef pants and t-shirts and like aprons and stuff. So I would always get just like, and then you're like you'd have like special non-slip sneakers, but
Yeah.
they would get like greasy and gross. So we'd always just like go change in the basement and then go back up to work. And then there were all these shelves that we used for like dry storage. And then there was like a little prep area even, and where we kept like Tupperware and stuff. And there was a whole chest freezer down there too. But it was a basement still. It was like a 20-foot high ceiling basement. It was super creepy. And the lights were always like flickering and stuff. No one liked to be down there. And I was down there by myself like late one night, like or reorganizing some of the shelves before I went to change, and there was like this whole stack of like aluminum lids on one of the shelves, and one of the lids just like flew off, and I like stopped for a minute, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And I was like calling one of the other cooks. I was like, are you in here? What are you doing? And I couldn't see anybody, and I couldn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, all of them just started shooting off the shelf. So I like bolted upstairs, and I just walked home. I was like, I'm going to leave my clothes. I'm just going home. I found out like 2 years later that it was one of the other cooks, like tucked on top of the shelf. Like he had crawled all the way up there, moved a bunch of stuff. He prepped this earlier in the night and was like shooting the lids out from behind it to where I couldn't see it.
Got to see a ghost.
I know.
I was jealous.
Yeah, no real. That's the closest I've ever gotten, and it wasn't even a real.
I was
ghost.
still scared the shit out of me though.
It was pretty scary.
I love that for you. That it wasn't really a ghost though.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to clarify why you were changing in a basement. That just seemed.
I'm glad you
like,
did.
It makes sense now, but
Yeah.
That does it.
It wasn't like a full
Does it?
change, but yeah.
Was it? Nice. So when I was actually really young, I lived on a farm, and it wasn't my farm, but I was on a big field, and our house like kind of bordered that field.
Okay.
And the neighbor next
Well,
to us,
all the inns were closed when you were about to be born, so you were born actually like in a stable on the farm. Right?
Yeah, right. But the neighbors actually owned the farm. They cared for it, but I guess one year the owner sort of went. I don't know. Like people around town always said that he kind of went like a little odd because he claimed that he had heard like a voice out in like the fields, and he like mowed down like a bunch of the fields, and the 1919 Chicago White Sox band players would like who were like clearly dead by then, like he claimed would come out and play baseball in this field. And he I can't keep going on with this. Laura knows where I'm going.
It's
just Laura's like,
you had me going up until that, and then I'm like, because first I was like, how do I not know this story of this like lore because I just told you how we used to research things to try and find haunted things in high school in the town you're talking about. So I was like, I would know about this.
Yeah, I was describing the plot of Field of Dreams.
Okay.
Brian.
A movie I've never seen.
Another one that's
Brian
on our
was
list.
really involved in the story. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
he heard this voice and he said, "If you build it, he will come."
Yeah,
And like
okay.
he got
Oh my
so
God.
into it, and he no, I've told my story many a time. So very briefly, I'll tell you. When I was in the UK, I was in 2019. I was staying in a hotel for work. It was a very, very old hotel. Like I think, if I remember correctly, it was built sometime in like 1090 something. And there's like kind of a rule about the UK from what some of our coworkers have told me in like the bigger areas that have been around for a long time, that most likely someone has died in a place you've been, because
yeah.
buildings are so old and have been there for so long. So we were there for quite some time, almost 2 weeks. And one night in one of the rooms, I just suddenly woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and all the hair on my arms and neck were standing up. And it just felt like something strange was happening. Um, though I had recently had surgery, like I made Brian was actually there. Laura, you were there, but Brian actually had to carry all my bags everywhere because I wasn't allowed to pick up certain weight. So like Brian was like my little chauffeur. But like I was just too like, I was like, I can't get up. I'm gonna die. Like then we left that hotel, went for an overnight in this mansion that they pitched to us as like, oh, this is a place where the Rocky Horror Picture Show was filmed in, and all these other cool movies. And it was like really cool. And then like a year later, I found out it's literally one of the most haunted,
Really?
yes, one of the most haunted places in the UK.
I
Laura,
missed out.
I'll
Oh my
send you the
God.
article. Like deaths have happened. A particular room, no, you're not allowed to stay in.
What?
Yes, I'll send you the article.
I should
We
have been
stayed there.
exploring that whole time.
We stayed
Yeah.
there.
We
For
weren't
me,
really
nothing weird
in the
happened.
hotel. No, we weren't in there.
We were
We
one
were on
night,
a-
overnight. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we
but we were,
slept
like,
there.
on a booze cruise most of the time.
For
so-
one part, we were on a booze cruise, but then we stayed overnight, and we had a whole morning
Yeah.
in the I don't know what you call it.
didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, when we came back to the hotel that we originally stayed in, I was in a different room, and there were these giant wardrobes, and they
Those
were
things
literally
were creepy.
they were
as
creepy,
fuck.
and
they really
like
were.
my wardrobe
Could hang
was
out in them.
the
Yeah.
door was stuck. Like I put my clothes in it and I tried closing it, and it was like, like it was really stuck, and I was able to close it, and even the door was sticking out a little bit, but like it was as close as I could get, but it was really tightly closed. And in the middle of the night, that night, I heard the door jam, and it creaked open, and I just like rolled over, and the door was just ajar. It was open and slightly ajar, and like my two thoughts were, I'm gonna die, or I can go to Narnia. Like I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I also was just too tired and too like out of it from the medication I was taking, and I just rolled over and accepted my fate. I was like, I'm either gonna die, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be dead,
Yeah.
or nothing's happening right now. But I don't know what happened with that door. I don't know why or how it creaked open, but it freaked me out.
It like in those wardrobes. First of all, the rooms were so small.
They were all different sizes, though. Every room was
They
different.
were,
It was so weird.
but they were. There was no need for a wardrobe that large in any
In
of
every
those
room.
rooms.
No,
So
not at
it's
all.
almost like they were there since the hotel was built, and they were just like, these need to stay in this room, or something
Right.
evil's going to happen.
Maybe.
Like they're meant to be here. Like that's the
They're
vibe that they
warding.
gave. Because there
Maybe
was
they were like
no need.
teleportation like drawers. You just get in one and you could be in a different
Yeah.
room.
There was no
Brian,
need for those otherwise.
do you remember the first room I stayed in, the bathroom in that run?
No.
Okay, my room was just the standard like little square room, and then I had a bathroom that was a fucking airplane landing strip. It just, you turn the corner and you had to just, no joke, it was like from one end to the other. If you were just walking at a normal pace, it was like a 30-second walk to get to the other wall, and like that's where the toilet was. It was just that, and then the shower was at the end. It was just walls, a strip of wall, a sink in the middle, a toilet at the end, and then the shower on the other side. Like it was it was so weirdly like
I wonder what that hotel was beforehand, and
I
that's
think it was always an inn, but it just they
Oh.
renovated it and they never changed the actual
Yeah.
foundation
The
and
layout.
structure. Yeah.
Mm.
Wild shit. Anyway, but thanks for sharing our little paranormal
Yeah.
stories. Appreciate that.
Do we
So
all believe in ghosts? We know that I'm a yes.
I yeah, probably. I mean, like I hesitate when I say it, so I probably do. Like if you had asked me like 10 years ago, I'd be like, nah.
And maybe not necessarily just like the typical ghosts that you think of, but like spirits and in some way, shape,
I
or
think
form. Like there's a connection to the other side.
I think there's energy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we
I think that's where I lean.
Yeah, that like may work with us or be or oppose our you know bodies and things like that. But I don't know if I like believe like you see a face staring at you and it's like get out.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but like some people really do believe in that and have had really traumatic experiences. So, and I can't say that every person's a fucking liar. Like I don't know. So, listen, if you're listening to this and you've had a crazy ghost story, leave it in the comments. Like
Oh, yeah.
leave us a
I want to
message.
know.
Yeah, we'll like shout it out on the next time we record. Like we'll shout you out. Promise.
I love it.
Like tell us your crazy stories. Please. And also, if you listen to us on, like you said, on the like on a podcast like app or something like that, yeah, leave a message if you're on watching or like our audio on YouTube. Leave us a comment or a message. Like we had a great one on our last video. Yeah, it was really like just personal and I loved it really a lot. So appreciate you very much. Cool.
All right,
Yeah.
sorry, I sidetracked us again.
No. I love those ghost stories. Let's hear them. And thanks for asking that. But let's jump in to some ghosts busting. Let's talk about Ghostbusters. No, I don't want to talk about ghosts busting, but like Ghostbusters, you know.
That's one thing that I do know that happens in this movie, that something inappropriate happens.
Oh, well, maybe not, but we'll see. I'm going to ask a question anyway, but that might be relevant to that or not. So we're watching 1984's Ivan Reitman's 1984 Ghostbusters. And I should say Ivan Reitman directed it, but actually Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd wrote the movie as well. So where and when do you think this movie took place? And Laura, we'll start with you.
So I think it's like the time that it came out, so probably early 80s. It's in a city, but I don't know if the city is a real city or if it's made up for the movie or not, or if it's like New York City, or it's like a Gotham City type thing where it's
gotcha,
just made up for the movies. That I'm not sure on.
I like the city idea here. Okay, Brian, do you have a idea, or do you think it's one of those? Think it's real or made up? You don't have to give the location.
I think it's real.
Real. Okay. All right. Okay.
The whole thing. This is a documentary.
Who, Laura, do you know that is in the movie?
Dan Aykroyd.
Yep. The other guy I mentioned too.
Yeah, but I can't picture. What was his name again?
Harold Ramis.
Is he the one from Little Shop of Horrors?
No. I'll give you that actor is in this. His name is Rick Moranis.
That's who I'm thinking of. Okay. And then I don't even know. I can picture them, but I don't know their names.
Okay. That's cool. You basically, I mean, we've done 2 out of the 4 main Ghostbusters. And one of them you're going to kick yourself. You're going to kick yourself at one of them because they are an 80s, 90s, 2000s legend, comedic legend.
Oh, Bill Murray.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't think of the last one, the one that you said the name of that I can't think
you know,
of
to be fair, this other actor, he has been in several. I don't even want to say several, many other things, but he hasn't been in as many. As many. I don't want to get corrected by someone who's just like, yes, he has been. No, he hasn't been in as many high profile things. He's been in plenty of things. He's a really great actor too, but he not as many high profile things as the other three that we've mentioned here.
And then I know that there's a female
There
character,
is.
but I
Mhm.
don't know who. I think she has red hair.
She does have reddish hair in this, yeah.
That's about all I know. And then there's the ghost that is on the high C ecto cooler
That
box.
that is great. That's a question I have. Who or what is Slimer?
Yeah,
Can you describe it?
he's on the high C box. I just remember that growing up. An ecto cooler is a great flavor of high C.
It is. They brought it back
Yeah.
for both the last two Ghostbuster movies. So the high C. What does Slimer look like?
He's a big white ghost. But then when they try and kill him, is that when he explodes into like green slime?
Oh, okay. So, but he's a big, slimy green thing. Okay, green.
No, I
We'll say
said
green
white
slime.
ghost, but
You
apparently
did.
I'm wrong.
Not
No,
necessarily.
now I'm thinking. Nope, now I have the picture right in my head. I think, yeah, he's green.
Okay, he's green. Okay, but definitely got green slime.
Yeah,
Okay,
see how much I don't know about this movie?
that's fine. You actually know already a good amount. Can you tell me what you think this movie's about?
So I think these group of like quote unquote Ghostbuster people, like
Yeah.
they live in a world where there are ghosts, and they like that is their actual job, where they go and kill, or like they don't kill them, they like capture them in that little sucky backpack machine.
Okay, sucky backpack machine. Sucky
But then I
backpack. Yep.
think they've only dealt with like little ghosts, like insignificant ghosts that aren't like causing a big ruckus or anything. And they're good at doing that. But then Slimer
Mm,
comes. I don't know where he comes from. I don't know if these ghosts are like people that are haunting things or like
interesting.
evil beings.
Mm,
I always like growing up without seeing this movie, I always thought this was very much a kids movie, which I still think it kind of is, but I think that's also more of an adult
mm.
movie as well, which I don't think I knew until recently.
Yeah, there's
Um
a lot of adult
yeah.
innuendo, but I think a
Mhm.
lot of kids watch this movie because it's a PG movie. It's a parental
Yeah.
guidance movie, you know? Um,
So yeah,
Would
so
it
then I think
be that now? You
I
think?
think this would be PG 13. I personally think so, yeah. So,
so Slimer comes and then they're trying to capture him, but he's like too hard to catch. So and then
okay.
that's the
And
the
that's like the thing they have to get because he's a rascal.
yeah. I think there's also something with in the city that they're in, kind of gives a maybe like someone's trying to take over the city,
Oh,
maybe with these ghosts, and they're trying to save the city as well from like maybe somebody that's using the ghosts for a bad thing.
Oh.
I like that.
I feel like there's
Okay.
more than just the ghost happening.
Just
There's something like
okay.
maybe some like money being laundered or something. There's
Oh,
more
shit.
to
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. More than just Slimer.
And they have a secretary. Isn't there a secretary and she has really big glasses?
Okay.
And now I think that's really it.
I mean, I feel like you've done pretty well
Okay.
with your guesses. Brian, is there anything you want to add to this?
Um, I mean, I don't think so. Without like explicitly, like I don't know
Knowing,
what else you
okay.
have for questions, but like, there's definitely more that I know about the movie, but I don't have anything else to add.
Okay.
There's only like two scenes that I can picture in my head, and one of them is the secretary with the glasses, and that's like at the beginning, and then when they're walking up the stairs of like City Hall trying to like ghost bust. And that's all I got. Where does the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man come into play?
I guess you'll have to find out.
Now I'm like, where does that fit into anything?
There is a question that I'm going to ask, and that that might lead into
Okay.
that question.
Okay, I'm done with my guesses, so we can move into the guesses.
So then I'm going to ask some very specific and randomish questions. So the ghosts in this movie, I wouldn't necessarily call them the villains. Who do you think, and you could say a ghost if you want to, but who do you think the Ghostbusters' greatest villain in this movie is? Like, who causes the most trouble for them?
I think it's Slimer.
Okay.
But now I'm thinking, do they capture them for like energy or something? Because what do they? I'm thinking, what would they do with them after they capture them? Because I thought that too. Of like, they're not really causing trouble, but there's a reason why they're capturing them. So they must use them for something.
Ghost-powered cars.
Yeah, right. What do they do with them after they're caught? That's a really good question. All right, cool. Brian, do you have a guess on who their greatest villain is? Who actually like causes them the most problems?
Is it the mayor?
Maybe. That's a good guess.
I knew there was something.
Maybe.
I'm picturing a Jaws mayor type.
That's funny because, and just as a joke, if you've seen the sort of reboot with Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, the mayor is very problematic in that, and they call him. They say you're being like the mayor in Jaws, and he's like, "Fuck you!" He gets so mad at that. It's one of the best lines in the movie. Like, it's literally a really great scene. A lot of people give that movie a lot of shit because they don't. Yeah, it's good until the end. The end is just a terrible ending to a movie. Like, I'm not like spoilers, people. There's a dance scene with a possessed Chris Hemsworth, and that's just bad. Like, that's just bad. Like fucking bad. Like the movie actually had a pretty scary opening and had some really funny parts. And then once that third act started, it's like they didn't know what the fuck to do. The acting was great. I enjoyed everybody in that movie. So anywho, Laura, who is Gozer?
Gozer?
Yeah, who is Gozer? Such a weird question to ask someone who has no idea.
Is he the ghost that does the inappropriate thing?
Does something inappropriate. Okay.
The incubus?
Maybe. All right. All right. Laura, are you the gatekeeper?
No.
Okay. No. That's it. That's the question.
Should I elaborate?
Nope. All right. There's a scene where the Ghostbusters are told to clear their minds and someone does not. What do they accidentally think of?
Oh, maybe that's how the big guy becomes so big. He thinks
so you think this is
Stay
Stay Puff?
Marshmallow Man?
Yeah.
Stay
Puffed? Okay. Marshmallow Man. All right. And my last question. In this movie, does a ghost suck someone off?
Yes. Just straight up, yes.
I was deciding how I was going to word that all day today, and I was like, just going in strong. Just going in strong.
You're talking about with the backpack, right?
Yeah, right?
With the sucky backpack.
Does a ghost suck someone off? Does a ghost bust? So, anywho, those
I
are
don't
my...
know how I know that happens either. Like, that... I know
when you see a ghost blowjob, you're...
But
but the best
I've
part
never
is...
seen that part, though. Like, I know for sure that I've never seen that part. So somehow through, like...
The best part is that, and I'm gonna semi, like, ruin this. It's such a small, insignificant scene. It's literally so quick like
Do you
for
know
you
that
to
that's what's happening?
as a child, no, but like as an adult, yeah. But it's not like one
Okay.
second, but it's
We'll
like
just watch.
yeah, you'll see what I mean. But like, yeah, wild stuff. All right, these are some great guesses. I can't wait to see how y'all did here. And Brian, I know I didn't give you too much because I know you probably knew more than you probably remembered more there. So it's gonna be Laura.
It's been a while since I've been in the Doofs.
I know. I love it when that happens. All right. Are you both ready to get bustin'?
Ready to? I'm not
Ready
even
to
Say it,
saying
Laura.
Ready to
Come on,
bust.
Laura. Say
Nope.
it. Say it. Say you love bustin'.
anything. Nope.
I don't know if you've seen the new trailer for Frozen Empire, but that's like a line that Paul Rudd said. He's just like, I love bustin'. And
Have you seen there's someone edited together the song? Laura, do you know the song? Like, are you
Yeah.
familiar with the classic? Yeah.
Yep.
Someone like re-edited that together to just be like Boston, 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 Boston. Boston makes me feel good.
Oh god.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. All right. Well, for real, let's get bustin'. Okay, I'm going to hit throat ghost. Oh God! All right.
Oh my Jesus.
Jesus. All right. Oh my Jesus! She says. It is I,
most-
the throat ghost.
Now I'm not gonna finish what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
I was gonna say most people would be freaked out by that. I would be loving it. That's that was before you said that. I'd be like, fuck.
I
that's
would
a
be
big
pissed,
nest of-
actually.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
that's
gotta
a
clean
lot.
that
What the
shit
fuck? Now I
up.
have to collate all this shit? Like, get out of here. The original title that Dan Aykroyd wrote for this movie was called Ghost Smashers. But Columbia already had like the rights, or Columbia TriStar, I think, had the rights to that name for some other project.
Weird.
Yeah. You mean Throat Ghost wasn't their first pick?
No. You okay there? You choking on that throat ghost? Now the question is going to be how many times does Brian edit out throat ghost from me? This thing, like he did with the popcorn bucket in the Dune episode.
It'd be like a drinking game. Take a shot every time we say Throat Ghost.
Mhm.
I left one tasteful joke in there.
You did. No, I think we laughed at quite a few of those popcorn bucket jokes. Maybe I just did. That's where Brian cut it out. He's like, Drew's the only one who's like laughing hysterically about this right now.
It would be my dream to move into
A haunted anything.
like even just an old house or building like that where all the stuff was just left and you could go through everything.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I just think that would be so cool. Maybe not
No
the whole
thing.
house, but like a basement or an attic where it's contained. Like in The Conjuring where the basement's full of all the old stuff.
I'd never see you again, Laura, because I would never.
I feel like I'm never coming to your house ever.
Nope. When they were marketing the movie, that phone number was actually on the commercials, and it was a line. When you called it, it went to a recording of them saying, "We're not here right now. We're out.
Oh,
Ghost
really?
busting." Yeah, and they
That's cool.
yeah. I don't know exactly when they shut it down, but that's a cool marketing ploy, especially back then.
Yeah. Now I'm starting to think of it's kind of like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids like thing where they accidentally mess up their ghost machine and it blows something up instead of sucking it in. I need to know how old Bill Murray is here.
He's probably in his 30s because this movie's 40 years ago this year.
Because he looks like 45.
Yeah, because I think Bill Murray's now like in his 70s.
He looks the same.
Kind of.
73 now.
I think he's 34 in this movie.
34.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so.
You do?
He does not look 34.
Dress.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sigourney Weaver's
Yes, of
35
course. Oh, they'll be totally
in this
discreet.
She looks like 15 years younger than he does in this
Yeah.
movie. So I just saw the meme of like all the cast of Cheers and how old they are when they were first on Cheers. Like Kelsey Grammer was like 27. He looks like he's freaking like 50.
I was gonna say he's got like a cigar, but I was like, oh yeah, back in the day when you could just smoke wherever.
About it now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This
Except in the
elevator
elevator.
explicitly says no smoking. No smoking.
All right, that was Ghostbusters. Let's start with you, Laura. What'd you think?
It was really fun. I can't believe that I've never watched it before.
Oh,
Or like fully.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that.
It was fun, and the whole time I'm like, is there an actual like plot to this movie? Is there something that I'm missing that I don't know what's happening? But it's just like a fun 80s movie.
Yeah. It was problematic where it needed to be. It was,
just like any 80s movie.
No, but like in an 80s way. You know what I mean? Like where you look at things today and you cringe just a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But like that's what made it fun back then. No, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you liked it. I for a minute I thought you were gonna be like just waiting. You were like, is that all we get of Slimer? Because like in your guesses, Slimer was a bit more important, I think.
But I kind of had a feeling that he like became the like symbol of it, but really wasn't involved in it that much.
Well,
I had a feeling. Yeah.
It makes sense. And I think because Laura, I know like, and I hate to say it like this, but you and I are closer in age than Brian and us. And in the Saturday morning cartoon, Slimer was their sidekick. He was with them like all the time. And that's why he was like sort of the ecto cooler mascot. And so I remember seeing Ghostbusters, the movie, but
I do remember the cartoon.
Yeah, I don't remember the cartoon now. Like the movies resonate more for me, but I watched the cartoon a lot, and I drank a lot of fucking Ecto Cooler, like in the tin can too, like the tin one where you like popped it and like. But like,
oh my gosh,
you know what I'm fucking talking about?
Flashback. Oh my gosh,
That's what a good Buster does. So
Bustin'.
But anyway, let me ask you for this. What was your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh, that's a good question. Ask Brian first if he liked it watching it again.
Brian, did you like watching it again?
I did. I think I don't know that I would have watched it again on my own. Like I definitely think it's more fun to have watched it like with you two.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
I didn't see it as a kid, so I feel the like retro movie nostalgia, but not for this one in particular.
Sure.
Like just because it's an older film, like it does, and there's so many scenes that like have been parodied and stuff. Like it is fun to watch, but I it's not one that I'd probably choose to watch like on my own if I was looking for like an older movie to watch. And there are like definitely some scenes I felt like were like not didn't age well.
Sure.
And especially because they mostly come from like Bill Murray, who has been like
his
accused of that stuff in real life. So he's kind of a skeezy guy. And for it to be like jokes in the movie is like, oh, but like it's not a joke for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like even within the first 2 minutes, I'm like, how old is his?
Yeah, he's like
supposed to be. Yeah, right? I forgot about that. Yeah,
and he's like a professor at this university, and he's like tricking this student who signed up for something into like,
right?
I don't know, trying to, and then does the same thing to the client that comes in. And he's like, I'll go back to her apartment, and it's like, I don't know, my dude,
right?
And is like contemplating whether or not he should bone her while she's possessed.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, can I ask both of you, before we get into the scenes, though, what your favorite scene is, though? Because something Brian kind of mentioned about, like, not necessarily wanting to or would go back to rewatch this. Have either of you seen the one that came out a couple of years ago that, so Ivan Reitman directed this. His son, Jason Reitman, directed Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is a sequel-esque to, or it's not a reboot, but it's not a... I wish I could remember the term they used, a requel. That's what it is. In
Yeah, in
Scream
Scream,
5.
yeah.
Yeah, the requel. It's a requel where it's like the new cast, but it's in the
Yeah.
same universe and they bring back. Um,
I want to see it now, and I want to see the new one coming
and that's
out
the
now.
thing I was
Yeah.
going to mention, because the new one, after rewatching this today, I saw scenes in the new one that I was like, holy shit, they go back to the library in the new one. And so the first movie ties into things for the new one, at least certain places they go and visit. So I'm
Gotcha.
excited for that. And I think this rewatch actually is going to make things pop when I see the new one, be like, oh shit. Yeah, that I remember just seeing that. So I'm kind of like almost a little more excited about that now that, for this new trailer or the new movie coming. So
yeah. No, I definitely want to watch both of them now. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we watched this.
yeah, if you would like to borrow the Afterlife, or I don't remember if you have my Voodoo
Yeah,
password or
I
not.
do. Yeah.
I have it on there too. You
Oh,
can check
okay.
it out.
Perfect.
Sweet. Yeah. So anyway, favorite scenes, Laura. Do you have one
Yeah.
yet, or do you need Brian to?
No, so I think it's actually the library scene. So at the beginning when they're like trying to figure out their equipment and they really don't have their stuff together yet, and Bill Murray kind of seems like he's like not really into it, like
Yeah, he's not a true
I don't
believer.
really-
Yeah.
And then they see the ghost, and I think that whole thing kind of setting up their dynamics, and that they kind of know what they're doing but not really. So
Mhm.
I liked that. Yeah,
I've got an
it's
idea.
just fun.
Get her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Brian?
That one is really good. I do like that one. I think I like any of the scenes with like Rick Moranis in it. Like he's just so good. I love him as like the key master, and they're like trying to talk to him in the office, and it's just very good.
Yeah.
I like at the end when what did he say? He's like, I like a brain
Yeah.
sample of your brain tissue, and he's just like, okay. Like he'll just do whatever.
Who does your taxes?
Are you the gatekeeper?
He was great in this movie.
I have to agree too. Yeah, Moranis is great, and I like the party, and I know that like the special effects were like we talked about that. The effects in this movie, we're talking 1984. They were good at times. The practical stuff looked really good.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they should have just kind of stuck with that.
Yeah, I think it's tough too to do some of that, obviously, right? But like in 1984, that was really fun. Some of the stuff they did, but like when he, you see Dana gets possessed, like gets possessed. And that's a creepy scene too, because she's sitting on the chair and the hands burst out and stuff, and they grab her, and we never like those creatures are never brought up again. Whatever grabbed her and stuff, and and that was a creepy scene. She slides into the room, right? But then when Rick Moranis throws the jackets in the closet, the thing's just like, oh, I love that. And then it just does the chase down. And I always wonder though, when he gets to that restaurant, he's running away, and all these rich people essentially are just ignoring him, and he like turns around and screams, and that the like dog thing is right there. But when he slides down the window, you don't see it there. So and I always wondered then if that was just a choice made because budgetary, like we don't know how we're gonna do that, or is it like in his mind that it's there and possessing him, like maybe it's in the possession and the transfer at the moment. So I always wondered about that. But once he's possessed, he's like he's so good. And Dana too, when she when he opens the door and she's like, are you the gatekeeper? And he's like, no, and just slams the door on him, or the keymaster. Good stuff. Definitely has a lot of. There's several things I can just remember when I think about Ghostbusters. Like, I don't think about the plot of the movie. I just think about several things. Slimer sliming Venkman, and they pay tribute to that also in the new one coming up. They show it in the trailer, like someone gets slimed. And there's stuff like that I like the iconic moments. I'm glad to see in there. So cool. Yeah. So those are our favorite scenes. Should we talk about our guesses here? Review some of those?
Yeah.
Okay. So
feel like I almost added more than there was to the plot of the movie. I tried to make it more than it was.
It's funny because I think we've talked about that before, where sometimes we look back at movies from the 80s almost specifically, and they're just simple. Like
Yeah.
the plot, like there's plenty of complex movies and complicated films out from the 80s. I'm not shitting on everything from the 80s, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of these big movies, they start, they have a point, they get there, and they end.
Yeah.
Like, if this movie
They're
came
literally
out,
busting ghosts, and that's
right.
it.
And
Yeah.
right. But if the movie came out today, it was rewritten, completely rebooted, and like then there would have to be an explanation as to what happened to all those ghosts. There would be like a
Yeah.
scene after almost, and a closing. Like it doesn't just they
Yeah.
get downstairs and they cheer, everyone cheers, and they ride off into the sunset. There has to be some sort of explanation, and we don't need that. You didn't need that in the movies. It was literally just get butts and seats.
Yeah.
What a movie, get in and get out.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anywho, where and when did the movie take place? Laura, you said present to the release of the film, and it was going to be a city, but you weren't sure if it was made up or NYC, and you were good with NYC.
Yeah.
And Brian threw in that because he remembered it was real.
But
Who's
it
in the
also
movie?
had that vibe of like things were happening in a city. Well, obviously there's ghosts just running around, but it kind of had that like made up city feeling going on. I don't know how to
like an
explain
idealized
it.
version of New York.
Yeah, kind of like what was it, like Gremlins when they're walking around the city and it just has that weird like
Right.
feeling to it.
Like it was like fake almost.
Yeah.
Like it's a sound stage almost. Certain things definitely were like
exactly. Yeah. It wasn't
because-
like they were filming on the streets of New York City.
Yeah.
I think we remember like Gremlins. We were talking about Gremlins, and like another movie, either another one we watched or another movie we heard of, literally had the exact same town.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. Was it Back to the Future's town square was the same town
maybe,
square
yeah.
of
Maybe,
Gremlins?
I
I don't know. But yeah, I get you where you're feeling.
Anyways,
like, it's almost like it's an
supposed to be New
idea
York.
of
Yeah,
New York.
it's an idea of New York. Yes.
Who was in the movie? You had guessed pretty much the main people. You said Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis, Bill Murray. You just really missed out on Sigourney Weaver and Ernie Hudson, which
Sigourney Weaver. I did not know.
Yeah.
Nope.
What's the movie about? You said it's about these people who have these sucky backpack machines that capture and kill little ghosts, and then Slimer comes and they can't capture him, and then they're in the city and someone is trying to take over the city, and then they're trying to save the city, and it's more than just Slimer and I don't know why I wrote and there's a secretary with big glasses. I wrote security with big glasses, and I didn't know what that meant just now, but I got
that was all right.
It was, yeah. The technical write-up about it is 3 parapsychologists forced out of their university funding set up shop as a unique ghost removal service in New York City, attracting frightening and skeptical customers. Which I like your version better, honestly. I like sucky backpack machine guys capture and kill little ghosts, which, yeah. Who or what is Slimer? Describe it. And you said, high C box. Big white ghost with green slime. No, he's green. I'm remembering it now.
Well, I confused their logo with the big white ghost. That's where I was getting mixed up. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were also mixing it up with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
No, that I didn't know, but it was the logo. It's the big white ghost. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Not bad. Okay. Yeah. Who is the Ghostbusters' greatest villain in the movie? So you said Slimer.
Get that right.
And Brian said the mayor, and it's technically the EPA.
Yeah.
Peck at the EPA having
or
their
Zool.
I don't think Zool's their greatest villain, because they wouldn't have happened necessarily if the ghosts weren't released.
That's true.
She was still possessed and the gatekeeper happened, but the ghost had to be, everything had to happen. You know what I mean? Like
that guy was a dick.
Yeah. Yes, because he was dickless. Yes. This man has no dick. Laura, I said, who is Gozer? And we said Gozer is the ghost that does something inappropriate. And technically, Gozer did do something inappropriate. You were just thinking about it sucking dick, but it wasn't that.
What did he do?
Gozer unleashed Zool on New York City, so I think that's
Oh, okay.
inappropriate to some
Yeah.
degree.
Just in a different way. than
But
I
it
was thinking.
wasn't the throat
Yeah.
ghost. Laura, are you the gatekeeper? No, you're correct. You were not the gatekeeper.
I'm glad I'm not.
Yeah. And then there was a scene where the Ghostbusters had to clear their mind. Someone doesn't. What do they accidentally think of?
I can't
The
believe I
Stay
guessed
Puft
that.
Marshmallow
Yeah.
Man. Great job on that. And then finally, does a ghost suck someone off in this movie? Yes. Now, technically, it was a dream that
Yeah.
But that's
Ray
what
was having, but maybe it still happened.
Isn't that like what a succubus is? Is like
That it's succubusing.
well,
I don't know if
there's
it
a
comes in your
incubus
dreams or
and a
not.
succubus.
Yeah, well, a succubus is a female,
Is a female
and the
incubus,
incubus
yeah.
is the male demon, or but it is it's like I
Yeah, the
believe
rock
like
band,
a
yeah.
sexual thing, and it like
Yeah.
steals your soul through sex, I think. So yeah, awesome job. Some little interesting tidbits for y'all here. Dan Aykroyd reprises the role of Dr. Ray Stantz in the sequel films, but also in a non-Ghostbusters film. He has a cameo in a non-Ghostbusters family ghost movie. What movie is that?
Oh, Casper.
Yes! Yes!
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, Bill Pullman and his daughter Christina Ricci in the movie, they know that they have the ghosts in the house and they hire
He comes in, he's like,
yeah, you literally, I think it's like they're like, we need to call somebody. And then like he like it cuts to him running out of the house and he's like, sorry. And he says like, no, but he's wearing all the gear. He's got the proton pack on and everything. Great work on
it's
that.
so
one.
weird because I thought of Casper while we were watching this
Yeah.
movie. There was a point and I was like, oh, this reminds me of Casper. So that's why
Yeah.
it was on top of my head, or else I probably would not have guessed that.
That's a good.
I also watched that movie a lot when I was
I understand.
younger.
It's actually it's a decent
It's a good
movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little over the top, but it's a good movie. Brian, that's another one. You should just have like a teenager like
Yeah.
90s teeny bopper movie night, and you should watch like that's a good
I've seen Casper.
Shut up.
Casper's one of the there was like a selection of VHS tapes at my grandmother's house, and my parents would go on
Casper's
business
awesome.
trips when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I would
love that.
just be at my grandmother's house for a week, and so I would just watch. It was like 10 VHS tapes. That was one of them, and I'd just blast through all of them every
Love
time I stayed over. So I've seen Casper a bunch.
Quite a few.
I
Yeah,
don't
love
remember. I don't remember him being in there though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a quick scene, but like
Yeah, it's real quick.
Casper comes back and he's Devon Sawa in like human
I was just
form
gonna
for a
say
few
that
minutes.
was
I
like
bet
every
you
teenage
swooned,
girl's like,
didn't you?
oh, he was
Yes.
the heartthrob. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that made me happy about that. So the movie was written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, and it was actually inspired by real life ghost hunters and Dan Aykroyd's family. Like the
Okay.
idea came from the fact that he had ghost hunters in his family. I'd already mentioned about the advertisement for the movie with the phone number, and you could call it. And it was like pre-recorded message from Murray and Aykroyd saying that they couldn't come to the phone because they're busy busting ghosts. I also mentioned the original title was called Ghost Smashers. So
Doesn't
Ernie
fall off the
Hudson.
tongue as much.
Ernie Hudson was not the original person offered the role of Zedmore. It was Eddie Murphy, and he turned it down. And then I think I also mentioned to y'all that to pay tribute to John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd often called Slimer the ghost of John Belushi, and then confirmed that Slimer was inspired by him. The movie cost around $30 million to make.
Wow.
In the 80s, that's kind of bigger budget movie. And it made over $295 million. So it was a big success, especially big earner in 1984. Unfortunately, Dune just didn't make enough money to beat Ghostbusters. So yeah, that's what I got for y'all. And I think it's go ahead, Laura. What do you think?
No, I was just thinking of where Bill Murray and like Dan Aykroyd, like what movies had they done before this? Was this one of their first movies, or were they like already
They were already
Trying to
think
think.
because they were both already on SNL
Oh,
at the time and
gotcha.
had left SNL. Let me see here.
I
Bill.
was trying to think. I just kept thinking of Dan Aykroyd in My Girl, and I didn't know what
Oh,
year
I
that
know.
came out.
I can't. We
He's
gotta have.
so good.
I
in
want
that
Brian to
movie.
watch that one so much.
Mhm.
We'll get there one day. Let's see. So 1980. So like,
Oh, that was way after. My Girl was 91.
yeah, I know. I'm just looking at a couple things here, like for Bill Murray. Like Bill Murray, he had already been in a handful of things here.
Oh,
Meatballs.
Mhm.
He had been in which in '79, which was big for got him kind of on the board. He played Hunter S. Thompson in Where the Buffalo Roam. He was in Caddyshack, Stripes, Tootsie.
Yeah.
Before
And
this, so he had
Dan
some things under
Aykroyd
his
was
belt.
Blues Brothers, Trading
Yes.
Places.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he had
I just wasn't
already.
sure if like that helped, which obviously it did. Like,
I mean,
probably
yeah, I think it just leveled them up
Yeah.
even more, proved that they
that helped
were
like promote the movie.
yeah.
Having two
People exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, you've got Dan Aykroyd and you've got Bill Murray in this movie. People are gonna go,
Mhm.
they're gonna get their ghost busted,
Yeah.
And then Rick Moranis, I think, had already left. He might have been on SCTV. I think it was like the Canadian version of Saturday Night Live. He was on some sort of like sketch comedy show and that's I believe in Canada that he
Really?
was on. If I think it was SCTV. I could be wrong, but
Hmm.
yeah. So cool beans. So let's are we good to roll out that doof meter at this
I
point?
think so.
Yeah, let's get it
Alright.
out of here.
Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh,
Oh, that's interesting.
that's a nice one. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's set that doof meter up. So, y'all, the doof meter is our patented movie rating system. It is a 1 through 5 system where if you receive a 1, that means, it's a movie. I watched it. It was fine. Like, it was made. Cool.
It exists.
Yeah, exactly. And then 5 would be a, my God, I'm a doof. I should have seen this earlier. What the okay, so that's it. So again, it just it delivers on its expectations. So Laura, let's jump ahead and start with you. Where does Ghostbusters busting ghosts, throat ghosts land on the doof meter for you?
I think this is probably the easiest one that I've ever had to rate, so this would definitely be a 5.
Sweet.
Yeah. No question.
Nice.
Just for everything that I knew about it going into it. I mean, you can't not at least know what Ghostbusters is.
Yeah.
There's no way that you could ask someone and they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" It's not possible.
Yeah. What the fuck is Ghostbusters?
So yeah, just everything that I knew about it going into it. The fact that I think it still held up like as a movie. It was fun to watch for the first time. I would watch it again. When I say I'd watch it again, I would probably be one of those that I like put on in the background. I don't know that I would sit down and watch it like we just watched it, but I would put it on and like enjoy having it on.
Right. Or maybe like catch up if like you knew a sequel. Like if we didn't watch it tonight and you were like, I'm gonna watch these new ones, I have to watch the first, like something like that. Yeah.
And I'm like excited to watch the new ones now watching this. So yeah, I think just a 5. I know that if I watched this when I was a little kid, I would have really liked it too.
Nice.
Yeah, it would have been one that I probably watched a lot.
Cool.
So yeah, solid 5.
Awesome. All right, Bry Guy, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've already seen it, so it isn't like a true, like, I have seen it, so I can't possibly have...
Yeah, say like, oh man, I wish I'd seen this earlier.
Because
I did. Oh shit.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think it's probably like a 3.5.
Yeah. Does it still live up to like the first time you saw it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, you said you saw it only a few years back though, or have you seen it?
I've seen it as an adult, so it was within the last 10 years.
Okay.
So yeah, just don't have as strong of a pull to it, but I mean, it's definitely like Laura said, it's like a classic. No one doesn't know what Ghostbusters is. So and I had fun watching it. It was good.
Good. Fantastic. I mean, it's a 5 for me too, because it's like a classic. Like it's like you talk about movies from the 80s and you're like, well, have you seen Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
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 Amazing. Fantastic. All right, let's wheel that damn doof meter out of here and let's just shake it out of here.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez. A little more aggressive now. I love it.
There's a ghost in there.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a
no.
ghost in that doof meter. We'll finish this off tonight with a 6 degrees.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
I am gonna do my best here. I'm gonna try. I'm like, I think I've missed the last 3 of them. So
Right.
I've got one. I can go first.
Okay, you go.
I am bringing you Ben Stiller.
Oh.
Ben Stiller. Okay.
I
yeah.
have Keanu Reeves.
Ben Stiller to Keanu Reeves. Okay. I will start that timer now. All right. And I'll do my normal. Take these off now. Ben Stiller to Keanu Reeves. No, I missed it again. Fuck. I literally went in a circle. I got really excited too. I so stupid. I went from Ben Stiller and got back to Ben Stiller. It's like, what the fuck?
Wait, he was in a movie with himself?
No, but I was
yeah.
trying to think of big enough people with Keanu Reeves, and it's just tough now because Keanu Reeves really headlines a lot of stuff himself. I just figured it out. Shit.
I was thinking a good one to go through might be Parenthood because there's a lot.
That's a really good one to go through.
But say what you got.
So it wouldn't have counted anyway because I can't pronounce
Oh, that still counts.
Someone's name, but I will try here. So I'll go Ben Stiller, okay, was in Something About Mary with Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz was in a movie with Tom Cruise called Night and Day. It was like KNIT, Night and Day.
I remember that awful movie.
Tom Cruise was in The Last Samurai with the lead actor who's in Shogun right now, and it's his name I can't really pronounce. It's Hiroki Sanada, I believe it. Hiroki Sanada.
Okay.
He was in John Wick 4 with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, okay.
But I did not get it within the 2 minutes. So I don't count it a win, but I'm happy that it came to me at least, and I wasn't just like, all right, Brian, tell me the answer. Like, sometimes I am. And I'm sure there was probably a faster way too. Again, Keanu Reeves has worked with so many people. But that for some reason, like Parenthood, you had, like you had mentioned, there's so many people. I mean, hell, you kind of probably went with freaking. Anyway, what did you have, Brian, when you looked it up on the Oracle?
It's tough because the Oracle also does like the fastest route, but sometimes the fastest route is also like, but like
side actors.
Would you have thought of these movies? It looks like Keanu Reeves was in a movie called The Whole Truth with Renee Zellweger, who was in Reality Bites with Ben Stiller.
Yep. Okay.
Keanu Reeves was also in a movie called The Brotherhood of Justice.
Never heard of that.
No? Okay. I wasn't sure. I looked at the cover and I was like, oh, maybe Billy Zane's in it, who was in Zoolander with Ben Stiller.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to pick on, like, for Stiller too. I was trying to go through, like, I was like, I literally added a step on mine too. I went from Stiller to Cameron Diaz to Tom Cruise, and it was Stiller and Tom Cruise are in Tropic Thunder together.
Oh yeah.
But you've got Tom Cruise, you've got Jack Black, you've got Robert Downey Jr. I'm like, who must have worked with, and even Matthew McConaughey. There were so many people in Tropic Thunder. So I was like, maybe somebody else had worked with him.
Yeah.
But no, it took a bit. And then also for Keanu, I was thinking maybe I'll go the Toy Story 4 route. Like he's in Toy Story 4, with Tom Hanks and freaking Tom Hanks and even Annie Potts is in it. Tim Allen, like there's a bunch of big names. Key and Peele were both in the fourth one.
Damn.
So again, couldn't quite move fast enough on it. I think my brain's getting sluggish. We might have to retire this game if I can't make if I lose 5 in a row, we might retire 6
We can
Degrees.
find a new game. We could.
That's what I'm
spice it
saying.
up.
Yeah, we can mix it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was great. Thanks for throwing those at me. That was a good curveball. And Brian, where can the people hear us?
You can pray to Zool, and he'll come and possess you and turn you into the gatekeeper, and you got to find the keymaster. And only when all the ghosts and then both of you are combined will you hear this podcast. Or you can just go to reeldoofs.com, and we've got links to all of our social media so we can tell you when a new episode is coming out. And you can hit the subscribe button on whatever thing you're listening to us on right now. So that way it automatically pops up for you, and it also helps us out. And that's a nice thing to do. And also you can shoot us an email, reeldoofs@gmail.com, and let us know about your ghost story. You can do that on the channels as well. Yeah.
Leave us a message.
Boston makes me feel good.